And Samara Link is live to tell us how it may affect your daily commute. Samara?
Thanks, Kristen. It's a problem facing every state agency in Arizona. How to come up with a plan to run their department with a 15% cut in budget. All the cabling from the turbines like this is run underground. Then the energy comes to this grid and is sent to power the valley. As families wrapped up their ceremony, intense and tearful emotion gave way to a more relaxed celebration. It's made out of bauxite, which often comes from foreign countries, making it expensive to get. So when you recycle an average aluminum can like this, traditionally cancer has been diagnosed by putting cells on a slide and looking at those cells under a microscope in a 2D version. Now for the first time, researchers can look at those cells in 3D. Quickly repairing broken street signs like this one, no longer at the top of the priority list. I talked to a man at the rally yesterday whose wife is a Fry's employee. He says he's read the paperwork for both sides and he thinks they're both right. Traditionally, special education students have been isolated in 1 or 2 classrooms or even socially within the school. One of the big new changes is a debit card. Horses, handlers, and jockeys. It's opening race day at Turf Paradise. The gallery, full of first-timers like Julie Isaacs and her husband, took advantage of free admission on opening day.
Come out and enjoy the sunshine and watch some horses run.
There were plenty of veteran horse race fans there too.
Not till he makes his move on here. Come on, 4!
The summer off-season meant big renovations at the track. The horses got a new 32-degree saltwater spa. There's only one other one like it in the country.
Right after the races, if they're sore, they just go into the spa with the salt waters, and it's just like any athlete, where they get the soreness out.
And spectators will get to watch plenty of races on a special new turf track. Owner Jerry Sims says people bet about 25% more on grass races.
I think horses run truer to form, and better horses generally run on the grass.
With 135 race days, more people come to see the horses run than go to home games for the Phoenix Suns. Most of these people are placing bets.
Oh, he's the better. I'm like I say, $2, $6.
Run one.
Came in last.
We're in the money now.
And with that, they're off to a season of horse racing with close finishes, new records, and new champions. In Phoenix, Samara Link, Cronkite News. On little Kylie's big day, her only job was to be her sweet self.
We finalized the adoption today.
Her parents, Adam and Marilyn, were overcome by emotion, as were all the aunts and uncles who were in the courtroom when the judge officially announced Kylie was no longer their foster child, but a permanent member of the Nichols family.
There was no way we were going to miss this day.
As families wrapped up their ceremony, intense and tearful emotion gave way to a more relaxed celebration. Kylie was one of 500 foster children in the state, adopted into their forever families on National Adoption Day this year. The Maricopa County Juvenile Court broke their own rules for the special day and let just about anyone in, including Susan Shiflett. She spent 3 weeks in China finalizing the adoption of her daughter Eve.
And then decided that I would go ahead and re-adopt her in the state of Arizona, so I had U.S. paperwork as well.
More than 34 judges from all over the county volunteered to preside over the adoption hearings. They say they see so many difficult cases throughout the year, it's nice to be part of a happy event.
So we have one that's adopting their 20th child today, which is pretty incredible, but it shows you the commitment of people that step forward and want to help a child.
For Kylie, she's stepping forward into a huge family full of love. About 30 of them were here this day to welcome Kylie, and there wasn't a dry eye in the house.
We all cried together, we've laughed together, we'll never forget this day.
And just to make sure, they captured the moment with their first official family photo. In Phoenix, Samara Link, Cronkite News.
This will be your number and they'll be calling you shortly.
Miguel De Mos is somewhat of a regular at the Central Phoenix MVD.
Well, I need to renew my driver license. It's expiring every year.
Miguel depends on a work visa that he gets 1 year at a time, so it might be a reach for him and his family to keep his driving information up to date. That's because closing MVD offices may be part of a larger plan to help solve Arizona's budget crisis. ADOT has already laid off 10% of their staff and closed services like 13 of the 18 state-run rest areas.
We've been here in Arizona for almost a month, driving all over the place, and we have been very disappointed at how few good rest stops there are on the major highways.
Quickly repairing broken street signs like this one, no longer at the top of the priority list, and they say Arizona residents will notice a big difference on the roads if they have to cut an additional 20%. Doug Nitzel of ADAT says a further $60 million cut would be devastating.
You're talking at least 2,000 more employees who would not have jobs. But even more importantly, the work that those employees do would not be getting done.
They'd have to close almost all of the 61 MVD offices, all rest areas would close, and highway maintenance would be limited to emergency response and repair. ADAT says safety will remain their priority, but drivers may still have to use caution.
When it comes to snow plowing, we may not be able to get to highways as quickly as we have over time.
Whether it's changes on the road or at the MVD, Miguel is going to pick up his license and get behind the wheel while he can. In Phoenix, Samara Link, Cronkite News.